Now, it's always difficult for any brand to create something new and fresh. It's easy to copy others and go with the flow. Many watch manufacturers just do that, mainstream or micro. But what I've observed with this brand's designs, they always seem to be following their own unique direction and really staying away from the influence of other trends. Now, as enthusiasts, we all like a watch that offers different designs, but at the same time not ignoring the bottom line, value. And that seems to have been the driving factor for the founder of this brand. Now, you saw the pop-up. Second Hour has sponsored this video, so I will of course leave a link in the description section. If this watch interests you, feel free to check them out. Now, what's in the name Sattleberg? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's named accordingly to celebrate the Australian soldiers' relentlessness and bravery during the Battle of Sattleberg. And if we look into our history books, this battle took place in 1943 between the 17th and 25th of November. For me, I have high praise for this watch. From the experience I've had throughout the week, I want to share my thoughts with you. But as we all know, there is no perfect watch out there. So I will include a gripes section in this video as usual, should this watch require room for improvement, if any. And for us enthusiasts, it's the small things that matter, the details that can make or break a watch. Let me give an example. This being a modern take on the field watch, being able to see that minute and seconds hand extend into that chapter ring allows you to not only accurately read the time, but also set the time on the watch. And the fact that that chapter ring is white, it separates it from the depth of that dark, moody dial, and it brings an excellent contrast for enhanced legibility. So that's a little nuance that I've really enjoyed on this watch's dial throughout the week. And I think the use of space and well-proportioned sections on that dial offers a good balance and has been dealt with really nicely here. Now, a field watch shouldn't be overly big. It should not be obtrusive on the wrist, but also it needs to be able to fulfill the ease of proper time telling to be classified as a field watch. And this watch coming in at 40mm, I think it's a very good sweet spot. Not only for many wrist sizes, but also as far as practicality is concerned. For me, this has been very comfortable with the well thought out dimensions, and it seems to blend into your lifestyle rather than overtaking it. Because looking at the dimensions of the watch, with a case diameter of 40mm and a case height of 10.5, it's been an extremely easy wear. Also, with an overall weight of 138 grams on the bracelet sized to my 18cm wrist, it's been stable, comfortable, and a real pleasure. And the first thing that made an impression on me from this watch is that case profile. It is slender and well refined. There's lovely transitions between the entire case, a satinized brush finish, and a highly polished bevel running the entire length of the case. Honestly, you get a feeling that you might not want to take this watch out into the field too much because there's a potential of trashing it and destroying that excellent finishing. But looking at the specs of the watch, there's a hardness rating of 1200 Vickers. So that puts you at ease in that department. So the watch not only looks good, but it's also strong, which for me is right up there of a good field watch. Now, if I turn my attention to that bracelet, the integration is something to mention here. It's very nicely done. And when I say details, it's usually the small nuances many people miss on a watch. Because looking at that bracelet, you'll notice that the center links are polished. And turning the watch over and looking underneath, the polishing extends to the other side. So for me, it's nicely done. And this little attention to detail is something that a lot of other brands miss. And having these refinements, I think this is going to be a pretty expensive watch. And you know what? It's not. Because it comes in at 850 Australian dollars. That's around 580 USD. And for what I've got in the hand here, its finish and execution, I actually expected a much more expensive watch. Now, turning the watch over, you can see there's a solid case back. And as you can see the details of the watch, November the 17th to the 25th in 1943, as well as the coordinates, which I think is a very nice touch. And behind that case back is a Miyota 9015, around 42 hours power reserve, 28,800 vibrations per hour, a nice reliable workhorse for a proper field watch. Now, I love getting affordable watches on the channel to show you guys, but even more so when a watch is designed well, finished well, and seems to offer a lot more value for money than your norm. For me, this Sattleberg MkII throughout the week has been different, playful, practical, stylish, and it can be dressed up or even dressed down. Now, I've also placed it on the supplied leather strap, and it really worked well. For me, the comfort has been excellent, and on that strap, the break-in period was about a day, at best. Seems to have good bolstering and stitching, and overall the wearability has been very easy on the wrist. I think the key words to take away here for me is quality and refinement. And that is saying something. Now, if you haven't already noticed, I've been picking certain elements of this watch's design that really made an impression on me throughout the week. And I think that makes sense. And one of those elements is that crown. It's unobtrusive in its size, it's implemented well, it doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary, but in its functionality, the grip, the depth of its knurling, the way you set the time, it's solid, positive, and even the latch down experience on the watch has been super smooth. So I really have one word for that crown: bravo. And I think using that crown lets you know a little bit more about this watch's standard of quality. And another detail that I especially liked was that date complication at the 6. I think the opening is just right as well as the font size. But I especially like the fact, again, it's unobtrusive and only shows up when you're looking for it. So little details and smart design choices have been key in this Sattleberg MkII. Lastly, if I have a look at the lume of the watch, it offers Swiss Superluminova BGW9. It's very good in its application on the Arabics and handset, and I think for a field watch, it's extremely legible and works a treat. Now, I did say that I was going to include a room for improvement section on this video as I normally do, and the problem is with this watch, unless I nitpick, there's nothing here on this watch that I found technically wrong with it. Ideally, nothing that could offer change. Now, the watch might not be to everyone's taste, I get that. So subjectively speaking, you might have some gripes, but technically, there's nothing wrong with this watch. So in that department, I have to give the watch high praise. And for those who have been following this channel for a while, you'll probably know that I've had about 2 watches this year that have fallen in the exact same category. I couldn't find any faults with them. They seem to fit the genre perfectly and offer their own unique spin and style. And for me, that's high praise. I think it just serves to make the watch more sought after and desirable, especially in this hobby where so many brands are just copying one another and hoping for a few extra bucks in the till without really doing anything substantial in the area of good design and well thought out execution. This Sattleberg MkII has gone out and achieved a really good unique design whilst adding some fun and colour without forgetting the brief. And it still manages to maintain a very high level of execution for the money outlaid. The rest of it really becomes subjective. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My take on this Sattleberg MkII, quite a fun, unique piece, a proper modern take on the field watch. And I think with such a thin profile and excellent wearing experience, there's really been nothing for me to complain. As a practical, robust, purposeful field watch, it seems to be ticking those boxes with nothing left to spare. So thanks for watching, be well, be safe, continue to enjoy this hobby and what it continually brings to the table and offers for us. And we'll see you in the next one.